Hey you guys, this is Irene. I wanted to come on here and speak to you about the situation regarding ZaZa Ali. I am going to give a brief background, but I'm not going to be speaking much to the financial aspect of it because my concern and my commentary is on the human aspect of it. So with that said, let's get into what the situation is, and then I will talk about where it is I stand. There were 39 women who had signed up to do a retreat with ZaZa Ali. The retreat was canceled the day before, and one of the women, a red flag went up when she attempted to go and claim her hotel room because she had taken time off work and she wanted to be able to take advantage of the room that she paid for. She was told by the hotel there were no rooms available, that nothing had been reserved or booked. Having gotten no response from ZaZa Ali, she went to the news. There was a news report that was done. They contacted the venue, the hotel. They were told that ZaZa, in fact, had never paid the deposit, and so they canceled the contract because they were unable to reach her, and that they had done that 30 days prior to the cancellation that ZaZa notified the women of, the 39 women of, which was done 24 hours before the actual day that they were supposed to arrive. The cancellation, according to ZaZa, was that she had been in a car accident, and Nyla says has had many women come to her, and they have provided emails where ZaZa talks about being physically injured, injuries to her back, all around this car accident. The car accident was verified. However, it was a fender bender and nobody was injured. With that said, ZaZa said she returned $15,000 of the money, processed that in refunds. However, because there were 39 women and each woman paid somewhere between $1,500 and $3,000, we are speaking of monies more in the ballpark of $52,000 to $65,000, depending on how much each woman paid. Again, 39 women at $1,500 to $3,000. So a lot of these women had not been repaid, and they started to try to reach out to larger YouTubers and people in the community so that they could tell their story, and nobody would hear them. And they went to Nyla Says, and she has featured their emails, correspondence with ZaZa. She has allowed them to come onto her channel and tell their story. And that's kind of where I want to get into this. I understand in business, often it takes time to refund people's money. So the refunds, I want to see the women get them, but that's not the part of the story that is intriguing to me. The part of the story that's intriguing to me is the fact that ZaZa knew for 30 days leading up to the event that she had no place for the women to stay and the event was not going to happen. And during that 30-day period, after the hotel canceled their registration for non-payment, ZaZa continued to request final payment from the women. She continued to schedule, right, because it's not happening, spa appointments, massages, I believe. She continued to talk about room assignments, knowing that there were no rooms because the hotel had canceled. She was still talking about room assignments. This means that there's a pretty elaborate scheme going on, right? Because knowing that you have no event for a month and steadily communicating with almost 40 people as if the event is happening, and then suddenly saying you're canceling the event because of a car accident is a high level of deception. Money aside, why does this matter? Well, it matters for a few reasons. I went to ZaZa's page because I had sat on the panel with Nyla as she graciously allowed so many women to tell their stories and made an attempt to even reach out to ZaZa so that it wouldn't have an air of being one-sided because she wanted to be fair. And I saw that ZaZa was requesting more money from people for a cipher. Also, I saw that she talked about why she had been missing from social media, and she mentioned her son getting hurt, and she mentioned a death in her family, but what she didn't mention was the accident that caused her to cancel that trip. Add to that the fact that when she was contacted by Nyla, because so many of the women had approached Nyla, that she felt obligated to reach out to ZaZa. She told Nyla that essentially the people speaking of it were hyenas, which is a racial epithet that is attributed to Black women often. She said that she found the community expendable, and although she did later on try to clarify that statement, if it's looked at in context of Nyla's email to her, which was saying that the community was attacking the women, so would ZaZa speak? We can only assume that because ZaZa is intelligent, or presume, right? Not assume, but presume, because ZaZa is intelligent, that she understood what community was being referred to, and she was responding in kind about how she felt about the community, which would be the community of Blacks, the community of conscious Blacks, the community of people that the women were a part of, that they were expendable. She also made reference in another correspondence to herself as a lion with regard to the situation, and everyone else as sheep. So in a situation where she's being accused of being predatory, her response was to say, I am in fact a predator, and all of you are sheep. I heard ZaZa say in her video that she put up a week ago, and I played the clip on Nyla's panel, that she vibrates on a high level and people feed off of her energy, and she was offering people spiritual counseling and all of these things. And she often quotes the Bible. The Bible says, be not many teachers, for they have the greater condemnation. And she has positioned herself as a teacher. She is purporting herself to be a person that is of an elevated mindset. But the tone of her correspondence since this happened, even with the women who went to the news, with Nyla, with the gentleman who contacted her where she called herself a lion and everybody else sheep, has been aggressive, has been negative, has been demeaning, has been manipulative. Her disregard for the women to come onto her social media platform and completely not even mention the accident that caused her to cancel this event, to put out an apology for all 39 women, to speak on the issue at all is very dismissive. I want the women to get their money, I do. But as I sat on one of Nyla's panels, and I listened to a woman who was involved in this speak, she said, I left the church because her faith was violated there. And she was seeking to better herself. And she wasn't looking for a leader in ZaZa, but somebody to grow alongside. And that the situation essentially hurt her. That ZaZa had shown her heart. And I feel that when a person engages in behavior, which it appears ZaZa is doing, where you could go to jail, where you are hurting others, where you are digging yourself into a hole, you're not capable of humility, simply coming forward and saying a mistake was made and I'm sorry. You're not capable of transparency. The deception I carried on for 30 days, I apologize for that. It's a scary place because I feel like it's watching somebody self-destruct. Attacks have been made on Nyla, on Cynthia G, on people who are speaking on the matter, on the women themselves that are victims of this situation, and that is heartbreaking because they've done nothing wrong. But also in this, for those that care for ZaZa, we should want to see her be the person that she claims she is. We should want to pull her back from her own destruction by way of her own actions, because that is loving. We speak on the issue to bring light to it, because a lot of times shame is redemptive. God help the person that never feels ashamed of the wrong things they do. And none of us is perfect. I am a screw up. I've done a lot of things wrong. I know all of you have too. And a part of growth as a human being is facing those things. And it is hard. There are still things I need to face. There are still things all of us need to face. And for ZaZa, this is playing out in the open. And I would want to see her do better. I would want to see her step away from the ledge. I'd want to see that high vibration that she claims to have, that empathy. She says she's highly empathic. I want to see that empathy. Because as it stands, she's coming across as not just a liar in the situation with the women, but a liar in where she stands spiritually. We have room to make mistakes. We have room. But what we need to try to do is always seek growth and seek the good of others and face ourselves introspectively instead of making attacks. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in how she's handled this, just as a human being and as someone who shares a community with her. And I hurt for the women because it wasn't just their pockets that she's damaged. She has damaged them on a spiritual level because they trusted and they believed her. And honestly, that might be the greater violation. I wish all parties involved the best. And I hope that ZaZa grows from this in a real way and is humbled and brought to truth. Every situation is an opportunity for us to grow if we will grow. She's not alone, and we all struggle with it. There's no shame. Just step forward and be redeemed. And with that, you guys, I'm gonna go. Talk to you later.